na-meet mo na yung Phoenix? Nakipag-meeting ka na with them?
Si Coach Topex kanina nag-meeting kami.
Kamusta?
So yun, kakauwi-uwi ko lang.
Reunion na naman kayo ni Coach Topex. Kilala mo naman. Marami ka namang kilala doon, di ba?
Oo naman, sobra. Sila Jake, andyan din si Jake Pascual, di ba? Oh, si Banchero.
So, kamusta yung, anong tingin mo doon sa bago mong team?
Siyempre, masaya. Kasi nga, yung mga makakasama ko sa Phoenix, mga dati ko rin kasama sa Alaska. So, yun, excited ako makatrabaho sila. Siyempre, ayun, parang nakaka-excite kasi yun, parang bagong simula para sa akin. Tapos, si mga kasama ko, parang, yan, sila CB din, si Banchero din, yan. Parang isang conference lang kami naghiwalay. Yan, parang nakaka-excite talaga.
Pero kaya lang, kung kailan ka napunta doon, wala na si Calvin doon.
Oo nga eh. Sayang, di lang kami ilang araw lang. Medyo nakakainayang din kasi parang gusto ko din siya makasama ulit sa team eh. So, ayan, na-late nga lang ng ilang araw. Nabanggit din sa akin ni Coach Topex kanina eh, nag-meeting kami. So, wala, ganoon talaga ang buhay ng player, di ba? Hindi natin masasabi kung magi-stay ka pa, gano'n. So, siyempre, looking forward na lang na makakalabang ko uli siya, di ba? Kaso, nandun ako sa dati niyang team. Ngayon, lumipat naman siya sa isang team. Parang exciting pa rin.
Yung prospect naman na kay Coach Topex ka maglalaro.
So, siyempre, si Coach Topex, sa kanya din ako nagsimula eh. Bago ako pumasok ng PBA kasi naglaro ko sa kanya para sa D-League. Pacific Pipes, yung unang season ng D-League, sa kanya ako naglaro. So, yun, niremind lang sa akin ni Coach Topex kanina na laruin ko lang yung laro ko kasi medyo may mga namimiss din siyang laro ko na hindi ko masyadong na-show na pakita sa Alaska, parang gano'n. So, siyempre, yung expectation niya sa akin, medyo medyo iba. So, yun, kailangan lang makuha ko yung system niya kasi medyo yung run nila eh. Iba sa niraran ng Alaska. So, yun, kailangan siguro ma-apply ko lang sa sarili ko yun.
Kumusta yung past month? Since nung nag-request ka ng trade tapos sabi nga medyo natagalan 6 weeks bago na grant yung hiningi mo. Kumusta yung nakaraang buwan para sa iyo?
Sa akin okay naman parang ako. Naghihintay lang talaga ako ng mga updates ganoon. Ayan, pabalik-balik na ako ng Manila saka ng Subic, yun, doon ako nag-i-stay eh.
Di ba, yung nakaraang month, syempre, yung usapan is ititrade ka sa ibang team. Yung Alaska management ba, sinubukan pa rin nila na makipag-reconcile sa'yo na parang, ito, offeran ka ng mas okay na kontrata na fit sa terms mo or talagang hinahanapan ka na nila ng trade para ma-satisfy yung wishes mo.
Parang inano lang nila yung wish ko na gusto ko talaga malipat. Parang yun na lang yung pinocus nila. Talagang medyo natagalan lang siguro sa paghahanap ng trade partner. So, yun, after 6 weeks nga. Kahapon yun, na-approve na. Tumawag sa akin si Coach Jeff. Binalita niya sa akin na meron na yung hinihintay ko daw. Yun, ayos na. Nagpaalam na ako sa kanya.
Masasabi mo ba na ngayon may parang kumbaga peace of mind na rin? Or masasabi mo ba na yun, tingin mo rin yun na yung best na rin na pwedeng mangyari? Yun na yung best solution para sa inyo, para sa iyo, para sa Alaska? Ito na yung...
Siguro, ito na siguro talaga yung mangyayari. Kasi ako na din yung sa kanya nanghingi ng trade eh. So, hindi naman nila ako pinipilit na na kung mag-i-stay pa, gano'n. Kasi parang ni-request ko na rin sa kanila na before pa eh. So, yun lang. Yun nila. Nag-grant nila yung wish ko. So, yun. Masaya naman, masaya. Masaya ako.
Tapos, in-explain rin kasi Jeff na yung paghingi mo ng trade, aminado siya na hindi daw niya ikakaila na heartbreaking yun. Syempre, ang tagal-tagal mo na sa Alaska eh. Pero parang kailangan ka na rin nilang, kasi ikaw na yung humihingi, so parang mahirap na rin pilitin yung player kung ayaw mo na rin. I mean, gusto mo nang umalis. So parang kaya hinayaan na rin nila, naghahanap na rin ng trades, ganyan.
Siyempre, sobrang hirap din sa part ko na na umalis sa Alaska kasi ayun nga, 7 years na nandun ako nag-stay. Pero kasi, ang gusto ko lang mangyari yon parang, ayun, ma-refresh yung sarili mo. Parang, maiba naman yung, ang tawag doon, parang ambience, gano'n, parang gano'n. Kasi parang, tagal namin doon sa, ang tagal ko sa Alaska, parang, lagi kaming kinakapos din sa finals eh. So, parang, siguro, yun. Dahil sa, gusto ko lang ma-refresh talaga.
Vic, sabi mo gusto mong ma-refresh. Anong reaction mo nung yung restart mo ay sa Phoenix na punta? Nung sinabi na Phoenix yung napag-agrihan nila, ang naka-trade, anong unang pumasok sa utak mo?
Siyempre, si Coach Topex. Si Coach Topex na yung unang pumasok sa isip ko. Kay Coach Topex ako maglalaro. Ganun. Saka, yun, yung before pa nga ako mapunta sa Phoenix, nauna na si Banchero, di ba? O, yun, parang sila yung naisip ko agad sila. Si RJ, yan, lagi ko naman kausap yan kahit wala siya sa Alaska. Tapos si Jake Pascual, isang conference lang din nauna, di ba? Tapos, yun, mag-aabot-abot din kami doon. So, talaga nakaka-excite yung darating na conference para sa amin.
Ano tingin mo dun sa Phoenix ngayon sa mga piyesa na meron na kayo ngayon? This time, teammate mo na si Matthew Wright, teammate mo na si Perkins, si Justin Tua.
Siguro para sa akin muna, kailangan makuha ko muna yung Nakuha ko muna yung sistema nila. Kasi, yan, yung addition ako sa si Chris. Siguro, kung mas magiging maganda yung chemistry namin, or yun, chemistry, siyempre, mas magiging maganda yung tatakboy namin, di ba? Pag magkakakilala na kami sa loob ng court. So, sana, itong next month na mapagpa-practice siyempre, sana makapag-practice na rin ng buo para mas makapag-prepare kami, makapaglaro kami na mas mahabang oras sa court, di ba? Para mapamiliarize namin yung isa't isa, yung mga plays, ganyan. Para pagdating sa laro, medyo magkakakilala na kami yung actual game. Yun yung kasi pinaka-importante sa practice mo muna makukuha. So, yun lang siguro sa akin. Kung maganda yung magiging takbo namin itong off-season sa mga practice namin, baka sakaling mas maganda yung iran namin sa actual games.
Vic, nung na-trade ka, yung reaction ng mga tao, parang sinasabi nila na ang lakas ng Phoenix lalo. Ang taas agad ng expectation para sa'yo. Parang, anong reaction mo doon na, kasi alam natin, nag-semifinal sila nung last All-Filipino. Ngayon na nandun ka na, ito na ba yung panahon para mag one step further pa sila, makapag-finals, makapag-champion?
Ang hirap kasi sabihin agad ng yung advance, alam mo yun, kasi last conference, nag-semi sila with Calvin, di ba? Alam naman natin nung nagagawa ni Calvin sa isang team. Alam naman natin lahat yan kasi iba yung energy and hustle niya. Siyempre, yun, parang hirap tapatan ng level ni Calvin Abueva eh. Alam naman natin yun kasi siguro yung matutulong ko na sa Phoenix, siguro yung experience ko sa paglalaro, yun. Di ba? Kasi parang pag sabihin mo kaya natin dala sa finals, parang ang hirap eh. Ang hirap agad yung sabihin ko. Kasi yun nga, sabi ko, iba yung Calvin Abueva. Di ba? Mahirap panindigan yan. Baka sabihin lang, malakas yung Phoenix sa papel, di ba? Pero hindi no, sa mga lineup, sa mga pangalan, malakas. Pero hindi naman makapag-perform ng maayos at maganda. Di wala din, sayang lang din, di ba? So, yun na, tulad sabi ko, kailangan siguro yung chemistry muna. Magkakakilala kami. Yan, sa practice, diyan magsisimula talaga yan.
Pero, di ba, alam natin na parang reunion nga ito ng mga dati mong teammates. Confident ka naman na yung chemistry na yun, mabilis niyong makukuha?
Oo naman, sa tingin ko, mabilis lang naman kasi especially si Matthew, nakasama ko sa SEA Games, di ba? Naglaro kami. O sila Chris, sa magdidictate dyan, sigurado sila RJ, yan, dati yung kasama. mga big guys, hindi naman ako mahirapan mag-adjust sa kanila kasi, ayan, may mga big guys din naman ako nakakasama sa Alaska na talagang halos pareho ng mga pwesto, di ba? So, siguro yun lang. Mabilis lang naman sa akin ma-apply yung mga place na i-run nila. Hindi naman siguro ako mahirapan na matagal i-apply. Siyempre, yung utak ko nakapokus naman lagi. Hindi naman lumulutang yung utak ko especially pag sa practice na. Siyempre, yung trabaho ko yan eh. Mahirap kasi pag lumulutang yung utak, kaya mas mahirapan kang ma-apply yung sistema, di ba? Kaya kailangan focus tayo lagi eh. Yun ang importante kasi para makuha natin agad yung sistemang i-apply sa atin. Kaya kailangan focus lang ako. Hindi pwede.
Vic, clarify ko lang kasi di ba nag-expire yung contract mo December 31? Tama. Tapos so naka-renew ka with Alaska ka ba nag-renew or with Phoenix ka na pumirma?
Alaska pa rin.
Sa Alaska. Tapos,
Alaska pa rin ako nag-renew.
I-carry over.
Sign and trade.
Sign and trade nangyari talaga.
Yung terms ng contract mo, Vic, i-carry over sa Phoenix. So, kung gaano katagal, kung ano yung compensation, sila na bahala.
Phoenix na yung magmamanage ng contract ko, parang ganun. So, yung pinirma ko sa Alaska, continue ko lang sa Phoenix.
Nothing against, syempre wala naman tayong problema against Alaska, pero feeling mo ba dito with Phoenix, in a better position ka para makapag-compete sa championship? Mas boba yung pyesa nila, tingin mo, kumpara sa Alaska?
Sa tingin ko, maganda naman kasi niran ng Phoenix talaga eh. Last, nakita naman natin, di ba? So, sa tingin ko, medyo may chance naman na makaabot na medyo malayo-layo. Pero alam mo kasi lineup ng Alaska, hindi rin talaga basta-basta eh. Kasi, dyan din ako nanggaling. Kaya alam ko yung mga kakayanan nila na sa paglalaro. Alam ko may mararating sila talaga.
Yung meeting mo kanina with Coach Topex, nag-usap ba kayo about yung specific role na gagawin mo kung starter ka ba, off the bench, 3, 4, 5, napag-usapan niyo na ba yung kanina o hindi pa naman?
Binanggit sa akin ni Coach, pero siyempre, hindi pa ako mag-decide. Nabanggit naman. Siyempre, yung laro ko lang, kung ano yung na-expect na sa akin, siyempre, yung pa rin papakita ko. Yung pa rin dadaling ko doon. So, kung ano yung papagawa niya, siyempre, willing akong gawin. Siyempre, si Coach Topex, parang papabayaan ka lang niya maglaro eh. Pabayaan ka lang niya. Parang sinabi niya sa akin, dahil makapal mukha mo. Gayahin mo si Calvin, sabi niya sa akin.
Tama naman.
Totoo naman eh.
Nasabi mo kanina na sa Alaska, yun nga may mga kasama ka doon na big man din. Sa Phoenix, ang mga kasama mo sa front court, Jason Perkins, Justin Chua, na Justin led the PBA in blocks ng last conference. Jason Perkins, dating Rookie of the Year. Anong may tutulong mo doon? Kasi dalawang bata yun na syempre, pagdating mo doon, ikaw na yung ilo-look up nila para kumbaga magturo sa kanila.
Yun, siyempre, nabanggit ko din, pag-usapan din namin yan kanina ni Coach Topex na siyempre, sabi ko, pagpasok ko doon sa team na yan, willing naman akong i-guide yung mga big guys sa Phoenix. Willing naman akong i-guide sila tapos turuan, ganun, para ma-share yung mga natutunan ko rin, siyempre, yung mga experience ko rin. Ayun, nabanggit din ni Coach Topex na tinawagan siya ni Jason, parang excited daw talaga na makasama ako sa team. Siyempre, ayun, siyempre, share ko sa kanya yung mga kakayanan ko, yung mga experience ko, yung mga natutunan ko. Siyempre, i-share ko sa kanya kasi mas malaking bagay yun kung ma-apply niya, di ba? Kasi alam naman natin gaano siya kalakas yung katawan, gaano kagaling maglaro, o kung magiging mas effective pa siya, especially sa poste, di ba? Yan. So, malaking bagay yun para sa amin, para sa team ng Phoenix. Hindi lang sa akin, pati kay Justin din, di ba? Hindi lang kay Jason, saka ibang big guys pa.
Sinabi mo kanina na kailangan mag-adjust sa sistema ni Coach Topex. doon sa pinakita ng Phoenix nung last conference, may nakita ka bang bago doon sa tinatakbo nila kaysa doon sa mga tinuturo sa iyo ni Coach Topex nung kasama mo pa siya sa Alaska?
Siyempre, iba yung sistema ng Phoenix ngayon eh. Kasi yung saran namin sa Alaska, nung nandun pa si Coach Topex, isa sa assistant coach eh. So, nagpapalakad nung mga place namin nun. Sila Coach Louie and Coach Alex. So, talagang magkaiba yung sistema nila.
Yung sistema ni Coach Topex, alam natin, takbuhan yan.
Okay.
Ano doon, gaano ka kahanda doon? Kasi parang ano to eh, kumbaga high fast-paced agad yung laro sa kanya. Walang pahipahinga dyan.
Oo nga eh. Sinabi niya sa akin kung siyempre kailangan yung conditioning ko rin talaga mas maging mas mataas kasi parang sinasabi niya sa akin, ikaw ang magdi-dictate ng minutes mo. So, kailangan i-ready ko talaga yung katawan ko, yung conditioning ko, di ba? So, kailangan palakas din ako. Palakas pa ako. So, ready ako pagdating ng mga games, di ba? Siyempre mahihiya ka. Mahihiya ka, veterano ka eh. Tapos hindi ka makasabay sa mga teammates mo, di ba? Ano yan? Sila go hard, ako hindi. Mas mahirap yun. Nakakaya. Kasi marunong ako mahiya eh. Kahit na, siyempre, sabi mo, yung experience ko, di ba? Kailangan tumakbo ko eh. Tumatakbo mga kasama ko eh. Siyempre, ikaw ang mahihiya sa kanila pag di ka tumatakbo. Kailangan sabayan ko yung energy nila, yung ginagawa nila.
Saka mabuti hindi ka palutang-lutang, di ba?
Oo, kailangan focus lagi. Mahirap yung lulutang-lutang kayo. Mamaya, pasangan ng bola, sama ka sa mukha.
Vic, sinabi na ba sa'yo kung kailan ka sasama dun sa... Ano bang practice nila ngayon? Yung mga small group pa lang?
Small group of practice pa sila. So, kanina swab test na ako. So, pag lumabas na yung result ko, anytime pwede na ako mag-practice. Pero alam ko, next week, every day na yung practice. Sinabi sa akin ni Coach Topex.
Si Coach Chito Victolero, sinabi niya na kahit daw nasa kanila na si Calvin, parang hindi niya pa rin mako-consider na powerhouse yung Magnolia. Ikaw sa tingin mo ngayon na nasa Phoenix ka na, tapos nandyan si Matthew Wright, nandyan si Banchero, may may Perkins, may Justin Chua. Would you consider na powerhouse na yung Phoenix? Ilalaban mo ba yan sa Ginebra, sa San Miguel?
Parang hirap kasi tapatan doon nila eh. Alam natin yun kung gaano kalakas yung Ginebra San Miguel. Pero siyempre, ano naman yan, sabi ko nga, kahit sino makalaban nung team namin, yung Phoenix, siyempre kailangan, alangan di kami lumaban, laro yan. Siyempre, hanggat makaya namin na pwede silang tapatan at kaya namin silang talunin, ba't di namin gagawin, di ba? So, yun lang, siyempre, tulad ng lagi ko sasabi, kailangan prepare lang every game, parang ganun. Kasi pag hindi ka handa, talaga matatalo ka. Pero kung prepare ka maglalaro sa game na yun, malaki chance mo manalo.
Vic, ano na lang gusto mo sabihin doon sa mga Alaska fans na nagtataka? Bakit gusto ano na gusto mo sabihin doon sa fans? Kasi syempre tagal mo rin doon eh.
Sa mga Alaska fans, yung kaibigan ko rin sila. So, papasalamat ako sa ilang taon na sinuportahan nila ako na habang nasa Alaska ako, di ba? So, masaya talaga ako na naging part ako ng franchise ng Alaska for 7 years. Malungkot man kasi magkaiba na kami ng team, gano'n. Pero, isang message lang naman sa akin, nakakapupunta naman sila dito sa bahay, parang gano'n. Alam mo yung may mga banding talaga ako sa mga Alaska fans na mga kaibigan ko. Alam naman nila yan kasi yung support ko din sa kanila andon. So, gusto ko lang pasalamat sa kanila sa ginawa nila suporta sa akin nung naglalaro pa ako dun.
So, supporters naman ng Phoenix kasi yun nga, ang taas agad na expectations nila para sa'yo. Masasabi mo sa kanila.
Siyempre, masasabi ko lang ngayon, bibigay ko talaga yung 100% yun siyempre para makatulong sa Phoenix, di ba? Siyempre, hindi naman tayo basta-basta maglalaro lang, di ba? Siyempre, meron tayong goal. Kailangan bawat laro gusto naming manalo as a player. Yun yung goal namin. Kasi ayun, sakali mas maging maganda yung tatakbuhin niya. Sabi nga ni Justin ngayon, medyo short sila last conference. So sana one step na lang andun na sa finals, di ba? Parang ganun. So sana ma-continue lang yung magandang tinatakbo ng team. Saka sana makatulong talaga ako sa kanila.
But we heard that Vic met with you na earlier. Pumunta na si Vic sa Phoenix.
Yeah, we met earlier, and then he had a courtesy call with our team governor. So, and then yeah, he had this swab test already. So hopefully by Friday he could join us.
What's your thoughts on your new acquisition, si Chris Banchero and si Vic Manuel, former?
Again, that's we lost Calvin, which is really big. Yun na nga, actually he's really one of the pillars of our team. But again, we might take a big loss on losing Calvin, but what we had was really again, no guarantee yet, but at least it kind of widened medyo lumaki yung lineup namin, humaba yung options namin, especially with also the opportunity to get right now 7th na. But prior to that, we're with the Calvin trade, we got 6. So it was really big for us, and that 6th pick gave us the opportunity to get Vic. So that's how it all transpired. So that's big for us. I mean, that gave us a better chance for our team.
How about the familiarity then that you have with these players? Kanina ngayon yung sinasabi ni Vic na excited siya yung reunion niya with Jake, with everyone. Ano na kayo, nung sinabi daw sa kanya na Phoenix, ikaw daw talaga yung una niya naisip na he was excited to play for you and be reunited with former Alaska teammates.
Yeah, actually, more than the Alaska relationship, I coached him in the D-League. So he was one of my first players when I started coaching sa D-League. So yun na, and then he's also kababayan ko rin, taga Sambales din. So medyo may connection. So when we talk about things, we talk about common things like we grew up in the same place. Yung mga taong kilala niya is pretty much kilala ko rin. So yun yung malaking bagay din for us that we get to have that kind of bond. Obviously, the Alaska experience is really something that's also deep for us. So yun na, homecoming. Chris Banchero, RJ Hasul, even our team manager, Paolo Bugia, Jake, yun na nga si Jake pa, nandun na rin. So malaking bagay for us to finally, spend our times together.
Just backtracking po a bit with the trade kay Calvin. It caught a lot of people off guard kasi you gave him a max contract extension just nung December. Coach, ano po yung naging, kumbaga, what was the tipping point that led to the trade?
Well, again, you're right. Calvin was a revelation in the bubble. He turned the ship around. And with that then, we've also helped him regain whatever was lost during the time that he was really he was suspended. So again, moving forward, we saw Calvin being with us for a while. That's why management rewarded him with a 3-year contract. Actually, prior to that, he was only expecting 2 years. Kumbaga yun yung but our boss was generous enough to give him a 3-year contract. So that's really big. It just so happened that there are things that are kumbaga hindi namin kontrolado, that's really kind of para sa amin sa Phoenix, it's kind of a big risk to get ourselves into. And actually, just to be clear then, even before Calvin entered the bubble, I've spoken to him about opportunities once he get his act together. Kasi prior to the bubble, wala naman talagang guarantee that he'll be able to play. Our good commissioner only gave him an opportunity to get his but no guarantee of playing. So for us to convince Calvin, it really took a lot of convincing, and obviously the trust that he gave us was really big. So part of that is again giving him an opportunity if ever commissioner will let him play, which happened. he didn't just play, but he redeemed himself. I mean, who would think that he will be nominated for the Sportsmanship Award? So, and he earned it. Diba? I mean, nobody could question that he really was a different kind of machine out there without those other attics. And that's why he became more, ang laki ng value niya. I think nag-shoot up talaga yung value niya. And yun na nga, looking into the draft, with all the things that's been happening, yun na nga, sinabi nga nila that this is the deepest draft that ever was made. And Calvin was one of the guys that everybody wanted to have a piece of. I mean, to be honest, it's not just Magnolia that was interested in him. There are a lot of other teams that were giving us different opportunities. But to get a 6th pick and Chris Banchero was really big for us. We lack, I guess, yung position that Chris now has, wala kami nun. So yun yung nakuha namin. Obviously, it's hard. Yun na nga, being with him for a while, having that relationship with him was really hard for me to do. But we have to do, I mean, somebody has to do it. And yun na nga, what we got, looking at the big picture now, when we got big, kind of justified why we have to make that move. Though it was really tough, and I never really talked about it until today, because I said I'll wait for the right time to really, I mean, not to justify, but to really just talk about what happened. And Calvin knows this. I mean, he's always gonna be a part of me. And kahit nga nung magkahiwalay kami sa Alaska, we still had that bond. So it's not gonna change. Kumbaga, init pa rin ulo ko sa kanya kahit wala siya sa amin. And he knows that. I told him about it. Sabi ko sa kanya, you know, yung opportunity mo dyan might never happen again. So, take care of, again, whatever it is that you have.
Nung first interview po ni Calvin after the trade, meron siyang konting panghihinayang na parang, kasi, kumbaga, one game away na lang kayo from the finals. Was that, something that obviously there was something taken into account before you made the trade? This is also a big risk for the team. Parang you're essentially overhauling a team that could have made the finals. How did you justify that to the management, to the players na involved?
Well, it was really tough. I mean, for me to, obviously the management has the final say, but I mean, to let you guys know, I pitch in for that also. Just to be, for the past week, everybody was hitting on the management, trying to say that we're not. I mean, again, everybody's entitled to their opinion. And again, the reason I was been quiet because the moment the trade happened, I got an offer from Alaska. So that's really big for us. Sabi ko nga, I'm gonna take the responsibility of the decision. And my job here is to build a team that will compete. Yes, we might be one player away from making it to the finals, but we got 2 players now that not only are experienced players, but with championship caliber experience. That we need. I mean, I'm a young coach. I'm new to this PBA coaching thing, and I need guys that are experienced, and I've had relationships also with. So, sobrang laking gamble, but I'm so grateful for management for supporting. I mean, the plan of not just me but the whole coaching staff. So we're gonna take full responsibility. Yun naman eh. I mean, our job is to win games, and ang trabaho ni Boss Boogs is to hire me and to fire me. So that's the way of the world, and I mean, yun naman talaga reality eh. So I just want to give my chance an opportunity to go into battle with pretty much a competitive group of guys. I'm not discounting, obviously, what we had. It's special during the bubble. But, now it's going to be different. I mean, we earned the respect of the other teams, and I guarantee you teams will not play us the same way they used to play us prior to the bubble. So yun yung next challenge. Again, no guarantee that we're gonna go all the way again. But what we could guarantee is we put in the lineup that at least could compete with the big teams.
Coach, sabi ni Vic, sabi mo raw sa kanya na laruin niya yung laro niya, pero tsaka na kailangan makapal yung mukha niya. Papala niya yung mukha niya. Anong klaseng, syempre kilala mo na si Vic and you know how he plays. Anong klaseng Vic yung gusto mo makita? Same Vic pa rin ba? Or parang would you want to see a different Vic this time?
Obviously, if you're gonna ask me, Ma'am Lyn, obviously I want to see the same Vic. But Vic has other plans, and he wants to expound his game. He wants to pretty much explore other facets of his game. Sabi niya, meron daw siya. Sabi ko, tingnan natin. He wants to really, when I say expound, sabi ko, he wants to pretty much try shooting outside shots. And actually, sabi ko sa kanya, sige, sabi niya, Coach, kung si Justin nga nagawa yun, bakit ako hindi ko kaya? So it's a challenge, and I want him to enjoy this. I mean, I don't know if you know that we have Dondon Ontiveros on our team also. And yung nag-welcome namin si Vic sa team, Dondon told him na tuturuan na siya ng bagong moves kasi sabi ko nga, gusto na ni Vic tumira ng 13, so better way si Dondon magtuturo sa kanya. So it's just something light, I guess. I mean, he's been through a lot in the past few months. And I want him to get excited again. And he said nga, this is a new challenge. No guarantee of success, obviously, but I want to give him a chance. I want him to enjoy his game. Sabi niya nga, para daw siyang rookie. So, sige, scratch na natin yung Vic from the inside. Now, let's explore on the outside. So, try lang. And we just want to give him the confidence. Yun lang naman eh. I know he could really develop into a different player, and hopefully, it's gonna work well for us.
In what capacity po si Dondon? Is he an assistant of the team?
Yeah, actually, even nun sa bubble, he's already part of our coaching staff. It just so happened na hindi siya umabot dun sa schedule of filing of the staff that's gonna bring in. But also, he has responsibilities sa Cebu. But he's pretty much active in our group, in our ano man tawag doon, chat group or something. Na also, when we ask about inputs, I mean, nobody could discount Dondon Ontiveros. And the reason also we're excited to have him is obviously we have one of the best shooters in the PBA right now in Macho Right. And nobody could question Dondon Ontiveros. Siguro kung sa akin may magka-question na shooting, pero kay Dondon Ontiveros, I'm sure nobody's gonna question. And we're happy that he's offering his services for us. And we're excited to have him. I think hopefully if the things went well with practices, he could fly in dito sa Manila to join us. Obviously not on a regular basis, but as much as he can, because obviously yung anak niya rin will be here. So I think that's part of his plan also. So to be with his son. So ang laking bagay sa amin to have Dondon.
Coach, can you talk about also the potential that you see having Chris Banchero and Matthew Wright together, the kind of backcourt duo that will give Phoenix?
Well, just so again on the when we got Chris off of that trade, obviously Matt was he lost a buddy in Calvin, but he was also excited to have Chris. He knows what Chris could bring. Sabi ko nga, sorry, medyo joke time eh. Medyo lalong gumapo yung team namin. so sabi ko to have that kind of duo, sabi ko maraming for sure mapapasayang fans. But more than that, I guess, Chris pretty much knows what I expect of him. I guess he knows he's excited also that he finally gets that position that he deserves. I mean, he's always been a support group on that position, and sabi niya nga, he's excited because finally he could call this position his. Obviously with the support of RJ Hasul and R.R. Garcia, but he's excited to be now, kumbaga, having that spot for him.
Coach, how does your new acquisitions affect yung choices niyo for the draft? Or kumbaga kung anong klaseng players na hinahanap niyo now that you have Vic and now that you have Chris in the team?
Well, it made our choice more, I mean, we're pretty much gonna go for the best available talent. Kasi nga, yung position namin right now, we're excited to have Jason playing the 3. So, it's gonna create a lot of surprises. Kahit kami maso-surprise for sure because Jason has been playing the 4 for the longest time, and he's excited when I told him that you're gonna be playing the 3 because, again, you're gonna have Chris, you're gonna have Matt, you're gonna have Jason, Vic, and Justin. So, we are looking for somebody more than obviously the talent is there at number 7, but we're also looking for somebody who's more of the character guy. Because we have so much talent, but we just want somebody who's willing to fill in the void that's gonna be left out. Kasi Calvin we lost a lot when we lost Calvin. Hindi lang yung energy niya, but the numbers that he has put in. So we're finding ways to fill up that gap. And pretty much with the deep talent that we have right now coming into in the pool. So we're excited to kung sino yung maglaland sa number 7. So kung sino man yun, I'm sure he's gonna be somebody who's gonna be playing a major role in our team, because we are not having Vic and Chris are veterans. We need rookies that's gonna step up in the future for us.
Coach, something that Vic said kanina was looking forward siya to playing a bit of a mentor role din kasi syempre bata pa si Perk tsaka si Justin. How do you see him impacting yung development nila considering the leap that they made during the bubble?
Yun na, I think Ma'am Camille, it's really big na nag-isip si Vic to be mentoring guys now. It just shows the maturity that he has. Kasi kung dati, yun na nga, sabi niya kanina na before siya yung tinuturuan, ngayon naman daw, siya na yung magtuturo. So it's nice to have that he's taking that responsibility to be a mentor. Kasi now, everything that he does, alam niyang may nakatingin sa kanya. So I know Vic also has a lot of things going on. And ngayon nga, kumbaga nahihiligan niya magkalapati. So sabi ko, dami mo gustong gawin sa buhay. But I'm excited for him. Yun nga yung one thing that I enjoyed with him, because I want him to be himself. With everything that's been going on in his past, obviously marami rin siyang challenges in his past, and I just told him, I want you to be yourself. I want to see the same Vic that I used to see, even more now. Nasabi niya he wants to try new things daw. So sabi ko, I'm here to support him. Ang ano ko lang sa kanya is, if you're gonna take that role, you have to be responsible for that. And you have to put in the works. Medyo lumaki siya. So sabi ko, hindi na muscle yan. Sabi ko, hindi ka na muscle man. So sabi niya, babawi daw siya. So we'll see. I'm excited. I enjoyed that opportunity that he gets to laugh after everything that's been happening to him. So I'm excited to see him, hopefully, when he gets cleared by Friday or even next week. So yun yung naging conversation namin kanina. And yeah, it's nice to see him again after being separated for a while.
Obviously, kapag with the Chris Banchero trade, we talk about how it will affect Matt, and then with Vic, how it will affect sila Perkins and sila Justin. But with Vic in the fold, how much easier will life be for Matthew, right? So you have someone.
I think it's really more of not really easy, but it's gonna give him more problems kasi now he has a lot of options. Kumbaga, we saw I never really saw Matt average like 5-6 assists per game in his entire career in the PBA. Not considering he was averaging 20 plus points. So how do you do that? I mean, that's a lot of sacrifice. And Matt has always been open to his teammates about saying this. I'm not afraid to pass you the ball because I know you're gonna make those shots. So he has this trust in his teammates, and involving Vic in our offense will be a big advantage for Matt because he needs somebody to. I mean, we all know that Matt needs support, and that's why we're filling in that gap that we lacked during our last conference. So again, no guarantee we're gonna work on it. It's gonna be a work in progress for us, but it's nice to know that the buy-in is there. With the players kasi importante yung buy-in eh. And we have to make sure Chris Banchero will buy in, Vic Manuel will buy into our culture. So that's the next challenge for us.
Which are any of the aspirants trying out with Phoenix right now?
Right now, we haven't really invited anybody yet. Kasi nga we're waiting for that final list because we don't really wanna. I mean, we're looking at number 7 right now, so it's gonna be pretty much who's gonna come out. Crucial yung mga Philams eh. So maybe after that Phil-Am thing has been settled, that's the only time we're gonna invite guys on our roster. So yun yung plano namin. And right now we only have a few guys also. And Matt will only be available Monday. So we want to concentrate muna yung pretty much our core since we have them already. So we haven't really invited any. Oh, sorry, we have Kaduyak, which is my player from LPU. So we have him. We want to look at him and see how he could contribute also. If ever there's a chance that we could get him in the draft.
So after March 5, when you have the list, baka doon na kayo magpa-try out.
Most definitely, yeah. So it's gonna give us about a week before the draft happens.
Si Coach Chito po, adamant siya na kahit nasa kanila na si Calvin, hindi daw sila powerhouse. Eh sa inyo, dinagdag nyo, Vic Manuel tsaka Chris Banchero, people are saying na maybe this is the time that Phoenix can break through dun sa upper echelon. Is this something that you see happening as soon as the next conference?
Well, for us kasi, Ma'am Camille, the barometer will always be the champs. Ginebra, San Miguel is there, Topex is there, Meralco, rain or shine, all of those teams. But sa amin kasi we only have we could only control what we could control, yung how we're gonna prepare. So we always look up to those teams that are successful, how they do it. It's not bad to copy their styles, kumbaga how they do, because there's something that again, success leave clues. So we're finding that formula. Obviously, innovating is one, which requires failure. So we're gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna make mistakes. But ang sa amin kasi, obviously we love the challenge of being ranked at the top. We're always gonna take that. It's a reality. Dito naman siyempre, you're always here to compete. You know, you want to find ways to win. Obviously, we're not on the top tier of the teams if you're gonna look at, but having those kind of guys and going to battle with that lineup right now that we have will give us, I guess, a fair chance to compete with the best teams. And wag kayong maniniwala kay Coach Chito. Alam mo naman, napaka-humble nun eh.
Coach, alam natin, busy kayo ng off-season, pero ibang team, medyo alam nyo naman ang nangyari sa San Miguel, adding CJ. How do you see the conference shaping up with all the movement that has happened among the teams? How will the competition shake up in your view?
Well, we're excited. Every time there's improvement on teams, sabi ko nga, we're only gonna get better. You know, if the teams start improving and we're gonna have to catch up to their level, obviously, yun ang maganda pag nandun ka lang sa ilalim eh. So you could always look up at the teams up there. So ang mahirap dun sa taas, syempre, always finding ways to really stay on top. Kami, nag-aabang-abang lang kami sa mga mangyayari. So sa amin is always finding ways how to get better and how to be heretics, how to change the platform. Kumbaga, yun naman ang nangyari sa amin last time. Who would have thought that Justin Chua will start shooting threes? Even Ajore Napoles started shooting threes. So we're excited for those kind of challenges. So yun yung palaging inaano namin is we will never find a Junmar. Kumbaga, we'll never have a Junmar on the lineup. So rather than to cry on that, might as well change the platform. So yun na nga, yun lang naman ang kontrolado namin eh. Paano kami manggugulo sa mga big teams. So we're enjoying that brand. We're enjoying that na we're always pulling in surprises. And hopefully we could be consistent with that. Kasi no guarantee din. This lineup might be on paper big, but you never know. We're always expecting the unexpected. So challenge lang for us, but it's exciting. It's always going to be exciting. I don't want to always worry about the things na hindi ko kontrolado eh. So what we have control of is how we're going to improve, and having Vic and Chris, and hopefully that number 7 will give us a better chance.
How are you looking forward to coaching against Coach Chot?
Again, sabi ko nga, if I want to learn from the best. I mean, I've looked up to Coach Chot. I mean, when he was, not only with Talk and Text, but also with Gilas. You know, I'm a big fan of how he does it. Sabi ko nga kay when I heard about Coach Chot leading Talk and Text, I'm excited because those are the coaches that I look up to even before. Coach Yeng, Coach Tim, Coach Norman. Those names have really inspired me to get into coaching. And I'm always excited for that opportunity because, again, I'm young in this coaching world, and I just want to learn from those guys. That's why it's an honor for me to coach against Coach Chot and to learn from him.
We are. We started Feb 1, but very limited. We're working out in small groups. So it's. I mean, we'll take it, but it's still not the same.
Still just the 5 people at a time.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so we split the team into 3 groups, and I'm there for all 3 groups. Well, I'm not supposed to be in the other 2, to be honest. So I just kind of peek my head in and watch everyone. But yeah, so your normal 3 hours will be now maybe 6. So.
All right.
Coach, when you have, just want to ask about that, just to start us off, when you have those kinds of practices where it's just 5 people and there are no scrimmages, what do you accomplish? How does that help you prepare?
So actually, that's a very good question. I think it turns out being pretty much just a skills workout. So what you accomplish during that type of practice is just, individual work. So we're trying to improve everyone's game in certain areas. So we try to give them a little bit of the movements that they're going to be doing during the game. But in all honesty, it's a lot of shooting, polishing your dribbling, and then you this is where coaches are creative, and they create they kind of create drills where it's kind of a breakdown of the offense that you run. So that's what I do, at least, so that the movement is familiar, so that when you kind of bring everyone all together, that they're used to a certain movement, especially offensively. But yeah, it's really challenging. Guys really, after a while, they want to just start to go up and down, and they can't, so, but like I said, we'll take what we can get right now, so we're happy.
How long will that go on? When do they get to,
Well, we're hoping that, and it didn't, I think there was an announcement the other day, but we're hoping that it'll go to MGCQ in March. But if it doesn't, I don't know. MGCQ would have allowed us to go 10 players. So at least there's, 10 guys out there, and we can go up and down a little bit. But if it's not going to happen, we have to just really wait and see. So yeah, guys are getting a little bored already.
Which I understand that there are you invited aspirants to try out with Alaska. May I know who these players are?
I'm sure. We had Brian Enriquez come in. We had a big guy, 2 big guys. We had Santillan and we had Adamos come in, and we really like those 2. So we're hoping that they'll be available, when we draft. But aside from that, also one more, we had Taylor Brown, but he kind of, not seriously, but he kind of tweaked his hamstring. There's tightness in his hamstring. So he was only with us for about 4 days. And we're looking forward to seeing guys like, Lapot and Muyang, maybe a couple point guards. I've been getting calls to ask if guys like, RK Ilagan and Malesio can join our workout. So we're working on that for next week.
Coach, how challenging is it to not have the draft combine because of the situation, and then you have the tryouts, but you're only limited to the skills?
Yeah. So again, it's different because, and in all honesty, you can look, great and awesome during the skills, but how are you when it's, you're going up and down and it's an actual game or game like, but it is a challenge, but again, you gain a perspective when you invite them to practice. I like to get to know them a little bit. I like to talk to them and just see how they think and know their background a little bit more. See how they view things, and then to really find out what their goals are. So I think those are all important aspects, and good things that come out of the small group workouts. But again, you don't really get to see them live, but so you rely on, talking to a lot of people that they possibly played against, and then a lot of video. So
Coach, is a big player you're going to be your priority given Vic's departure from the rookie in the draft?
Correct. Yeah, I haven't been hesitant in saying that that's really our number one priority. We have to fill up a little bit of that gap. I think, and I said it yesterday when the trade happened, that I 100% have lots of trust and belief in the guys that we currently have. So I expect Barkley to improve. I expect Rodney to step up even more. Abu, I think, is still a lot to learn, and he still has a lot to show. And then we have a big guy in Taha who I think will help us with more size. But yeah, I'm not hesitant to say that we have to fill up a little bit of that hole. There was already a gap with us losing Sunny to us. So we're trying to get a big who I think can complement the way we play and who's, like everyone says, the best available talent.
Coach, just wanted to follow up on that. Does that mean a bigger responsibility for the young bigs? Like, I know Abu and Barkley had solid campaigns, but as I've said, they're still young. How much of how big will the pressure be on them this coming season, knowing that they're essentially filling in the shoes of a Vic Manuel?
Right. Honestly, it's part of a player's career. They if you want more opportunities, you want more playing time, then you have to understand the responsibility that come along with that. So I think Abu's ready for that next step. He's still learning, but I think he's ready for that next step. And then we're happy with how, like you said, Barkley has been progressing. I think he's gonna show a better Barkley come this season. And then you just show them a little bit more trust, and you prepare them as much as you can so that they are ready for that next step. And yeah, like I said, we're believing in them. And then the games are about us playing together. We talk about that all the time. So as long as they do their job and they understand what their roles are, I think everyone should be in good position to do well.
Coach, for the past how many seasons, with him being traded and Jaron signing that contract extension, is this also kind of a show of trust in a way for Jaron, for him to prove that he is the franchise now, he's the franchise player now?
That's absolutely how we look at it in a way. We are expecting, again, aside from the bigs to kind of step up and do more, we expect our young wings like Jaron to play a bigger role also. So yes, we expect them to come in and to be able to understand that some of that responsibility will be put on his shoulders, and it's part of his growth, it's part of his development. Like I said, he's like Abu. I think he's ready for it, and we're going to show him some trust that he can handle it. So will he be perfect? Of course not. Will there be growing pains? Of course. But again, everyone has to start somewhere, right? So we expect him to do well, and then even guys like Maverick to also be a big part of what we're doing, and then for our shooters like Mike D and Robbie to continue growing and developing.
Coach, just going back to Vic, we know that there was a contract issue, or there was a problem with the contract, but how Vic he posted on his Instagram that he spent almost 7 years with the Aces, and it's a while. I mean, it's a long time. How
Right.
tough is
Yeah.
this, to come to this decision to part ways with a player like Vic, who's been with you a long time?
Right. It's really never easy. Vic has been a big part of, the success and the opportunities to win championships here at Alaska, the last 7 years. When he told me that he wished to be traded, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little heartbreaking. We've kind of put him on a pedestal where he is our main guy and we rely on him, night in, night out. Could he be better in some other aspects? Of course. And that was where we try to talk to him about, how that relates to, the extension and how long of a contract you want and how much of a contract you're asking for. So that kind of plays together. And when it happened that he was asking for a trade, I knew commitment was already going to be an issue. So whether you try to spin it, whether you try to talk to him and, try to turn a corner somehow, some way, I think just by him requesting that, that already is a challenge, in regard to his commitment. So it was the best solution to try to move him. And, as you notice, it wasn't easy. It really took 6 weeks to, explore, talk to teams, some offers fell off the table. Some offers we were waiting for, it didn't happen. Some we flat out just denied because it just wasn't, fair. My job is to make sure that, both parties are happy. So so like I said, with it happening yesterday with Phoenix, I think this gives us the best possible scenario for us also. And it allows him to have the fresh start that he's asking for. And so we just wish him well and hope, things go well for him.
Coach,
that there are other offers. Why did you pick the
why Phoenix?
Why Phoenix and why the picks?
Why Phoenix? Okay. So when you're going through offers and you're exploring trades, I think the number one thing that you have to really be mindful of and make sure that it becomes your priority is what you're getting out of it. So a lot of times, and it's only, I don't know if coaches will admit it, but sometimes you're like, no, I don't want to trade him here. I don't want to, send him there, and that's really part of the thought process and part of the consideration. But in this case, with it being so long, a lot of the trade offers, our first, second, priority or trades that we agreed with, they all fell off the table. So we were waiting actually for a couple of weeks for our first option, and we were excited about that. Hindi siya nangyari. Then it fell off the table. And then the second option, we're like, okay, waiting. Also, they changed their mind. So you're left with a couple scenarios that, aren't really your number one priority. So you choose what's best for you. And that's what we did. To describe more specifically why the trades why the picks, I think it's very crucial that we jumped up one spot in this year's draft to number 6. Even though most people kind of look at it as, it's not much, you're not, it's not like you're jumping to the 2 spot. We've identified as a coaching staff that there are 6 solid players, 6 solid marquee players who we feel can play right away and contribute right away. So to be in that top 6, I think, and get any one of the 6 will be best for us. So that's why we did it. We felt like, that's going to give us a strong opportunity. And I said it earlier, a strong opportunity to possibly, get either Santillan, Adamos, if they pass on Williams, if they pass on Oftana, then one of those guys is going to fall into our lap. So that and being able to have their first round next year, knowing that there are a lot of young players who are still haven't entered the draft, gives us again another high possibility of getting another high draft pick next year. So yeah, we felt like with that trade, it was best for us.
And you also mentioned that having Brian, the PBA adding Brian to the mix might be a blessing in disguise for Alaska. How's that going to help you, a player like Brian Heruela?
Yeah, when you think about your roster, obviously there's a number you want to reach in regards to roster spots, right? Position. Then from there, you think about positioning. I'm really looking forward to giving an opportunity for JC to play a little bit more of a backup role. We're gonna kind of give the reins to Maverick and have him kind of lead us. JV is your reliable vet that you have, so we still have him. So we weren't really looking to add a point guard, but for this to happen, and the PBA did request for an additional asset for the trade to happen. So I really believe, I've always liked Brian. I spoke to him yesterday. I told him, I first gave him the honest truth on how things transpired, because I like to make sure they understand the situation they're coming in. And then, but I was also honest in telling him that I love the way he plays. I love his work ethic. I think he has an improved shot. His offense is a lot better. He's tough. We all know that. And he's your perfect kind of, backup point guard. So when you have a second thought on a guy like that, you think about it and be like, hey, he could be a blessing. And, I told him we'll really help him try to make this happen. But, we'll see how it goes.
Coach, does that mean he's not assured of a spot in the final roster for the coming conference at least?
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer, but it's the honest truth. And that's what I explained to him. I said, coming into this, before yesterday, this wasn't part of what we were expecting. So we have to kind of see what we can do to make it work. So as of right now, today, yes, it's still not unsure, but when you get him on a court, and I told him I want him to kind of surprise us and force us to be like, hey, coach, you got to sign me up. That's how I wanted him to approach, when he comes into practice with us.
So he's being given an opportunity to earn the spot. I just wanted to ask this about the Vic situation, because we know it's been all over the news the past month. By doing this trade, is it kind of a way for you guys to kind of smoothing it over, ensuring that you come into the next season with no drama, everything is on the up and up as you start your quest for the championship, the 15th championship?
Correct. I mean, you always want to start the season or the conference, on a positive note. I felt it would have been really challenging if he was forced to stay and he didn't want to stay. That's the difficult part of that. And I think that's one thing I think people should understand. He asked for the trade and he wanted out. So, it's not easy to hear on our side. It's never easy to kind of work things out where both are happy, but it is the truth, and we try to do our best to try to do what's best for, like I said, both parties. But you never want to begin a conference or a season with baggage, with extra baggage. It's already difficult trying to win. So, I think right now what's nice is there's clarity. There's a sense of, our path and where we want to go is a little bit clearer. And then we know we're starting to find out who the roster is going to be, or the team's going to be, and we could all together just kind of move forward. And I think that's the same for him also.
Coach, just an update. How is Kevin Racal and with his recovery?
He's well into his rehab. but he isn't running yet. He is on the sideline doing exercises with our trainers. So I don't expect him to be able to join us this All Filipino, but we're hoping that the next conference, hopefully there's a second conference, he should be able to join us. So yeah, that's the status there.
And coach, it's not just the players who who moved in this off season. Coach Chot returning to Topex. What are your thoughts on that? And possibly matching wits against him, a 5-time coach of the year.
Yeah, gosh, he's I can't say enough of how much respect I have for Coach Chot. He's gonna make that team a lot better, I think. Wherever he goes, it's always a strong and a competitive team, if not a champion team. So I'm looking forward to the challenge. I do love the fact, though, and this is an interesting fact, that when he came in, there were quotes from Coach Tim and Coach Norman, Coach Yang. So what's nice on my end is, except for Coach Yang, I only played for him one time, and that was for an All-Star game. But I played for Coach Norman. I played for Coach Tim, obviously, and I also played for Coach Chot at Cope. So to be able to kind of face him on this level and is really, really exciting on my end. So, but I'm not going to show them I'm so excited now. But yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward to. But like I said, basketball is basketball. It's a fun game, and we're really up for the challenge. So Alaska is really excited.
Has Sonny retired, or is he just not playing because?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. I'm not sure what this guy's doing now. I'm just joking. Sonny concern is obviously being safe enough for him to play. So I don't know if there's going to be a vaccine in time for the for the next conference. So he said unless there's a vaccine, he's probably not going to play. It's been over a year already, and he was already tiptoeing whether retire or not. So you can already make your guesses there. Has it been official yet? Not yet. Diba? Hindi pa niya ina-announce. But I think he's leaning towards it. I told him I don't want to pressure him. I spoke to him maybe about 2 weeks ago. I don't want to pressure him. Do what's best for you. But the way I'm looking at it, if he hasn't played now, it's been over a year, he might be already close to it. So, but yeah, we still hope to do something for him, whether it's, honoring his jersey number or something, but we want to do something special for Sonny because I think he deserves it.
Looking forward to your game against Coach Chot.
Yeah. So I have to dress well. You know how he dresses well, right? I have to look good that game.
Thank you for your time,
Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.